Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another DZBT deck profile, and this time I'll be covering the upgraded Chronojet deck profile. Do have a little thing to say before that because I don't have like every single Dark Stage card, so I'm using what I currently have, which to me I think is still okay. But then I don't have the Grade 2 promo. Because it has been a little while, so I rather just probably wait for a reprint or something to come before actually using the card. But so far, the build that I have, I feel quite good with it. I did make some adjustment after a little bit of testing, so I think it's doing me okay. So here we are. Now with the right line, we don't have a choice. We have to basically use the whole Chronojet right line because of the ruling, but it's still fine. It helps us searches the grade 3 that we needed. It gives us the Crescent Jaws card, so so far it's doing us okay still. And then for Chronojet, so far through my testing, I don't need to use the send back to deck skill at all. So that's kind of a good thing, that you don't need to always waste a counter blast, but if you need it, it's always there. And then let's quickly go through the G-Zone first before going to the main deck. As usual, because we do have all the space, so I'm putting, of course, all of our Fate Riders, next stage there as usual, and then I have 4 the Chronos command. So this is the new support, and it's actually quite good card for us, which will be the flipping target for your Fate Rider for your first try, right? Because for a few things, we need to go to GB3, Generation Break 3, in order to use its effect to counterblast 1, and then do the effects, right? And his skill is your opponents put all their reguards on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then you choose one of your reguard. It gets the following skill. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks, put it to the bottom of the deck, search your deck for up to 1 unit card with grade +1 from this card, call the reguard circle, and then the newly called unit with this skill will get +5k at the end of turn for each face-up Chronos command you have in your G-Zone, and shuffle your deck until end of turn. So you can't you can, but you rather have one Chronos command face up the G-Zone before you actually strike in the Chronos command. So your Fate Rider will be the one that helps you to do the flipping, right? And also do remember that the +5k per Chronos command comes after the new skill applied to the reguard, and then it switch. Then you plus the power, not giving the power to the unit you give the skill. So do be careful about that. But that helps you with 2 things. One is that you can actually kind of guarantee, not exactly guarantee, but at least helping you to reach the numbers that you need to attack for. Because when you call something that is actually, well, even though it's grade +1, but then if it doesn't have like a specific skill to help you out, then you are still kind of not having a good time, right? So there is that 5k to help you to slightly adjust the power. Maybe with the boost, it can reach even when your opponent is hitting the triggers. And what's good about Chronos command is that because it applied the skill, and then basically he is kind of a vanilla, because after applying the skill, there's nothing more he's going to do. So you can actually use your Vanguard to attack first, because you already applied the skill for the unit to change into something that to do multiple attacks. So you have a choice. You use those to attack first, change to something, use a Vanguard attack to pump that unit, or you can use the Vanguard to attack first, apply as much as damage as possible through the crits and things, whatever you got, and then use your reguards to like enforce that wave of attacks. So you have choices now, which in the past we kind of being asked to do one attack first, at least, right? Because, for example, for Fit Rider, it's a on attack skill that doing the time leap for you. So you have to have something that already attacked to do that, unless you like don't have a good board, then you just have a grade 0 behind and then it turn into grade 1, or have a grade 1 behind and turn into grade 2, right? But you rather still use that grade 1 to attack with some cards in G zone face up, and then change to something else and then do the attack, right? You still prefer to do it. But with Chronos command, you can actually select how you want your Vanguard to attack, and this gives you a lot more flexibility during the game. And that's very, to me, I think it's very important for you to actually have, and something that you should be thinking about when you are playing with this deck. And then going through the main deck, first I'm running 4 of the Noctur Seal for the Grade 3 Ride Draw and for the Stride Draw. And if you need to like get more cards into the soul, you can actually play this card out. So because it's on place to your circle, so you can actually use the skill that you're given by the Chronos command from the grade 2, and then call this out, and then use the skill to draw 1 and put 2 cards from the drop zone into your soul. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think it actually used the plus 15k shield there, so because you need to have a grade 4 Vanguard, or you actually can reveal a grade 4 from hand, which is probably not happening, so that part we don't need to care about that. But the draw and the draw 1 and put 2 cards to from drop zone to soul is very important, because you do need to use a lot of souls. And then 2 of the Chronojets, because we do want to get access to next stage. Not like Messiah, I do see a lot of Messiah deck that is not actually using any kind of spare Messiah, and then they just take out the grade 4. But for this, I think next stage is still a very good pressure applier, or even like an end game sort of options for you. So I'm still using Chronojet in the deck, but I'm not using the grade 1 Strike Water, so you will need to like use the right line to actually grab it, or of course there are other ways that you can actually recycle the card. And then I'm running one of the Polyf. I do see a lot of people actually dropping this card. It still gives you a draw, and what more importantly to me is that the plus 10k, because we have Chronos command right here that you can do a +1 sort of time leap. So you go from 2 to this, then you can at least have something that is hitting 23k, which to me, while facing opponents who is very good at triggering, I think this is a good backup plan. But if you just went to your hand, you can simply just play it, turn it into grade 0 with the crest, and then just turn it into grade 1. That's still fine, I guess. And worst of the worst thing is still digit for stride and a drawing card. So I don't see it hurting you too much, but then I'm just putting one in there in case I need it. If not, everything is still fine. I can still use it for a draw 1. Right. Next is another new card from DZBT06, Glimmer Breath Dragon. So when this is placed on Riga Circle, if you have a Chronojet Dragon Crest, you can counterblast 1 a drawing card. If your Vanguard is grade 4 or higher, it will get 5k until end of turn. So this part, it doesn't require you to have any generation break, so you can just simply even just use it early to draw cards, draw your pieces, and then get plus 5k for the turn. Or at the later time, you can just time leap it into this, and then on place, counterblast 1 drawing card, and then plus 5k. And then when you reach generation break 3, then when this attacks, it will get plus 10k and the air battle on the Riga Circle. So it's still a very good beater for you, especially in the later game, whenever you just having more and more and more GB cards for each gives you another 5k, because you reach generation break 3. So like you will be at least plus another 10k because there's 2 face up on the G zone and 1 on your Vanguard circle for the GB3. So it will be a total of plus 20k. So it healing 30, and then user skill is 35, which is the power that this deck is actually requiring, because for cards like Upstream, we can only get the plus 5k from it. So, and then say you are on GB3 as well, so it's only hitting for 25, it's not actually that big. It's still a 15k shield and call it the day. But then when you go into 35, things are different, because even just the 20k front is not going to protect just by 1 card. Your opponent still need to give you something more. So it's still a good addition to the deck. And then for Upstream, don't need to say too much about it, because it is what turns your multiple attack engine on, and then just switching to grade 1 and then go to grade 2 with the Fate Rider as usual. But with the addition with the Chronos command, now you can actually split an Upstream into a grade 3 and a grade 1 at the same time, because both skill applied. You will do as much as you can, so you can actually split one Upstream with a skill to a grade 3 and grade 1 to do a full column with boosted attack, which can be this plus a grade 1, so it can at least hit base as a 31, and then plus 2 cards on your G zone to be 41, and then plus the 5k from here can be 46. So even though it's not perfect number like a 48, but I think 46 is still a decent number to have. So Upstream is definitely a must in this deck still. And then I'm putting 2 of the Energy Blast draw for the defensive, because at the same time I am using her 4 color. I think it is how it sounds, probably. If not, correct me, feel free. With this, not only that we can just simply get energy charge when placed on Vanguard circle from hand, but at the end of the battle, this unit boost if you have energy blast 3 or more at the same time for the cost of your card ability. This turn you can retire to draw a card, so it helps you draw. So you use it for riding and then use this to draw. I think it's definitely fine. And at the same time, I'm using 3 of the clockwise, so that I can just recycle my Chronojet or recycle this so that I can use it again for striding or any other cards that I actually needed whenever I discard. And because it only just costs you a like free energy, then and bind it from the drop zone, or remove from the drop zone. So it's definitely going to be helpful. And then these 2 can turn this engine on to draw your cards. So the more cards you have, the better you prepare to survive a turn from your opponent, and then use the resources to stride again and fight back. And then for GG for the draw, that is why we do need this skill to help you to actually put cards into soul. And also I'm putting 1 of the Sargon here, because you can actually bring it out from the deck with your skills. So 1 I guess is fine, and it's to apply the pressure through your Vanguard, because it's easiest to put it behind the Vanguard and give the Vanguard a skill on hit to put 2 cards from drop zone to the soul, which, because for most of our grade 4s, they don't have anything that actually on hit, so it's sometimes quite easy to be a no guard target, and then you just apply like sort of a fake on hit. Of course it's still on hit, but it's not given by the unit itself. But this can just make your opponents to give you more stuff for guarding. So it's still a very good card, and then as long as you have the souls, your GG will just turn into more draws for you, and then the more draws you have, the easier you survive getting your pieces and win your games. And then and then before triggers, 4 PGs if you want to use a blitz you can do it, and then one of the order right there, I usually use it as an order instead of just like for striding, because the -1 cost of Chronojet to me is not that useful, and as I said before, 90% I'm not using the skill to send my opponent's stuff back to the bottom of the deck, so that is not helping me too much. But then it allows me to use skills before actually having any GBs, so even when I'm kind of stuck with GB units, I can still sort of do something if I need to, because it can happen, especially when you are playing a like stride deck. Your weakness is very obvious, where your opponents will let you to go first, see if you go to Gravy first, and then they can do the full combo while you are having a Gravy Vanguard, and then you can't stride on the first turn, you ride into Chronojet, so you have to wait a turn, everything is slowed down for a turn. But at least with this order you can do something trying to be threatening before you get the stride. So I think it's still a good addition to have, and it's getting reprint in JP very soon, so I might actually try to find a little bit more, maybe, but I will see. But so far I think 1 is okay, it's just a backup plan. And then going to the triggers, I'm using the Dark OT because I'm playing a longer game, and then I'm just grinding cards, trying to make high power columns and just attack. So this is definitely helpful, and even early game, because I'm not going to play 3 lines to just bash, so I do get a chance to kind of increase my number of attacks through this, and then just for the grinding game, more heals is better, so I'm using that. But if you want to use the Dark Stage OT, I think it's okay as well, because again, most of your grade 4 units are not having any exactly on hit, so just suddenly pull this off, and then every Vanguard attacks they have to give you something to guard for is also fine. So it's up to you. The Fire OT I think is doing okay as well, but not exactly that helpful. Water OT is okay as well, so you do have a few choices you want to. But I personally like the Dark OT a little bit more. And then crits, I'm running 7 crits. I'm not using the Soaring crit because I usually just use them for guarding, so to me it doesn't matter. But if you do want some backup, you can use the Soaring crit to get the souls, but then risking a 15k shield, I don't think it's going to help you too much, because whenever you actually soul charge, you are soul charging 2 cards, and that 2 cards is enough for GG. So if you ask me, I think it's okay for you not to use the Soaring crit, but if you have it, just throw it in, it won't hurt you at all. And then for fronts, I'm using the Soul in fronts. Even though the Soul in crit isn't that helpful, but I think the Soul in fronts is actually helpful, because you guard with it, you give it the shield value, and then just put it into the soul. So instead of putting on field where you can only boost it for like 4k and then it just go in to plus 2k on something else, a shield that helps you guard attacks that also go into soul, I think is way better. So I'm using the soul in front, but if you do prefer a more higher shield value, you can definitely go back to the trying to get fronts, because we do have some soul charging sources. This is more like a backup plan, so it's up to you which one you prefer. But so far this is doing me okay, so I'm using that. But if I'm facing like decks that's going to hit me very tough, always 28 base, then I might consider actually changing to trying to get front. So it's depending on like the meta and stuff, and then you do the change. And then 4 normal heals is fine. Don't think we need the effect heal for now, but maybe later we will have another effect heal that's going to be very helpful. Maybe, we don't know. So there it is. yeah, so the deck itself, I think it changed it quite a bit since I last played. For example, this is something that I haven't been played. Clockwise is something that haven't been played. Of course, the new cards are not being played, and then also the Energy Blast cost is also the and haven't been played. So it's a very new experience, and again, the addition with the Chronos command allows you to make attack sequence a lot different. Really helpful. I won't say the support is actually pushing the deck to like a top tier, but then compared to before where we don't get to do a lot of things before we get the stride, now we actually get to do some stuff and like drawing cards, not like keep playing cards and then losing cards, so that we have a higher chance of surviving in the early game, and then we go into our strides, and then you get Chronos command as a simple board wipe for you, which can be very hurtful to some decks that relies unit state on the board. There are decks that basically good at emptying the whole field, for example like Lefty Draws, then they might not feel that much of a hurt, but at least you can still kind of use multiple attacks with higher power to like ask them to give up all the shields, and then you just see who get a better hand, because they do draw a lot, unfortunately. But what you can do is to just manage your attacks carefully. Like again, like with this can actually attack first is making a very big difference, because if you attack with the side first, then you allow your opponents to use their markers to draw a card before your Vanguard attacks, right? But then you can use your Vanguard attacks, bait something that they already have, and then they need to see if they draw something good to help them survive. So the situation is completely different based on the addition with the Chronos command. So it's a very good support, and hopefully we can see more, because I do feel that it needs a little bit more push to get back up. But if you are just looking to have fun with Chronojet, I think for now it's having some good additions and you should have a good time. Yeah, so yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below as usual. Subscribe for more deck profiles, deck fights, unboxing videos. This month we won't have a new set coming on, but we do have the like a kind of like a starter set, a deck set kind of thing coming in, so I will be unboxing that when they arrive. There's a lot more other deck profiles that I still need to roll out, but I'm still waiting on some cards to actually get enough resources to show you the full deck, so I'm waiting for that. After that is done, and then I can show you some, and then some I still need to test. For example, Tamagura, I have the deck built, but I still need to try it out, see if it works, and anything that I need to adjust before I show you guys. Yeah, but they will come. Yep, so I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off.